Hello guys, today inshallah I'm going to revise with you specimen paper 2014. Here inshallah in this video you will find the model answer or two. So let's start with paper 1, question 1. Diagram is called food web, so let's answer question number A. I want you to mention one producer in the food web. Here it can be water plants or bamboo plant. Number B, I want you to mention one primary consumer. What is meant by primary consumer? It means the first consumer in the first trophic level in the food chain or food web. So here it should be snails, or according to the next or the other food chain, it should be giant panda here. Question number C, use information from the previous table or the previous diagram to describe why the panda is described as an omnivore. Here he wants you to mention what is meant by omnivore. Omnivore here because it feeds on animal and plant. Number D, what do the arrows represent in the food web? Or what do the arrows represent in the food chain? The answer will be the same. It represented the flow of energy or transfer of energy or transferring of energy from one living organism to another one. Please guys don't write here eaten by, it is not accepted anymore. Let's move to question E. Here he's talking about how cutting trees will affect the population of panda. Your answer should be because the amount of food is decreased, or there is no enough food, or there is no shelter for the panda. Let's move to question 4. Here, this question is key question. According to the information that you have here, you should write the name of the fish. According to the information here, it should be clownfish. Next one. Question 7. This question about selective breeding. Again, let's revise quickly what is meant by selective breeding. Selective breeding, choosing the desired features that you need in the living organisms, breed them together in order to get these features in the offsprings and repeat the breeding again between the offsprings. Here in the table, the information about chickens, they want you to breed the chicken in order to get large number or to increase the number of. Of course, here the reproduction will happen between male and female. The only male here is lamb, so the first answer should be lamb. Let's look at the females. How can I choose the female? How can I choose it according to the number of eggs? I want to increase the number of eggs, so I should choose the female that produce the most eggs, which will be 130. The name of the female will be cow. The answer here should be lamb and cow. Question number B. Christine chooses chicken to breed from the offsprings. Which one should she choose? Guys, here he doesn't want you to write names of the chicken from the previous table. No, he wants you here to write the features that should be in the offsprings in order to repeat the breeding again. The features here, you have to write the ones that produce the most eggs. Number B, pick the most two useful answers here that it will be size of eggs and resistance to diseases. The first box that is size of eggs and the last box resistance to diseases. Let's move to next question. Question number 10. Okay, this part here about the balanced diet. Let's see how eating too much of each type of nutrient, how affect your health. Let's start with too much sugar. It can cause tooth decay. Too much salt. It can cause high blood pressure. Too little protein. It can cause poor growth. Too little carbohydrates. It can cause too little carbohydrates. It can cause little energy. And too much fat, it is done for you. It can cause heart diseases. One here, according to the information you have in the table, write for me two fruits that they have the highest amount of fiber. Here, according to the information here from the table, it can be pineapple and banana. This question is very important, guys. Why the fiber is important in your diet? Here we have more than one answer. I'm going to say the typical one, it prevents constipation. This is number 1. Number 2, You can write it keep the digestive system healthy. This is accepted also in the mark scheme. Let's move to number reply. Write one conclusion about the amount of fat found in fruit. Here the conclusion, or what did you understand from the previous table, depending on the amount of fat in the fruit, you should write for me, the fruit contain very little fat, or there is less fat than fiber in fruit. IV. What measurement do they need to make it a fair comparison? Here, if I want to make it a fair comparison, what should I do? Here, guys, we should use the same mass or the same size of the fruit, of course, or same volume. Let's move to next question. Now the biology section is done in paper 1. Let's move to paper 2. Okay, let's start with question 1. In this part about the parts of plant, let's recognize the function of each part. The flower here is responsible for reproduction because it will produce the female sex cell and the male sex cell. What is the function of leaf? The leaf is responsible for photosynthesis process because it contains the chlorophyll, which is responsible for absorbing the sunlight to give the plant the energy to carry out photosynthesis process. Root here, the root absorption of water because it absorbs the water and minerals from the soil. The stem, responsible for transporting water and minerals. Why? Because it contains the vascular bundle that contain the phloem and xylem, which is responsible for transporting the water and minerals. Number B, write for me here the word equation, guys. He said word equation, you have to write it here in words. Here, carbon dioxide plus water, it will give you glucose plus oxygen. This is question 1. Let's move to the next one. Okay. Question 4. Why did he use here 10 centimeters of algae into each flask? Why this amount should be the same to make it a fair test or to allow comparison? Number B, why did they leave the flask for 5 days? Why do you think I will leave it for 5 days in order to give the algae time to grow? So here the answer should be so the algae could grow. Number C, according to the information here in the table, please read the information well, or read the information in the table well, then answer this question. He wanted to write about the concentration of magnesium sulfate increase from 1 to 5 according to the color of the algae. Why do you think this will happen? Here, guys, you should write for me that the color of the algae increase, or it will be dark green till concentration 4, then it will decrease again. Or you can write for me that the color of the algae increased after concentration 4. Question number D. When the color of algae is dark green, it has grown the most. Choose word from the list. It should be the fastest one. When the concentration of magnesium, it was 4, the algae grow the fastest one here. Next question. 7. Here you are going to label the plant cell. He wants you to mention 3 features or 3 structures. They are not found in animal cell. Number 1, it can be chloroplast, then cell wall, and large vacuole. Number B, name the part of the cell in which photosynthesis take place in chloroplast. This is question number 7. Next one will be question 11 here. Okay. Question number A, what is the name of part A? This part is esophagus or gullet. The stomach is not labeled on the diagram. Draw label line on the diagram to show us the stomach. Here you should draw a line here. This is the stomach. Here guys, let's match the organ with each function. The large intestine will absorb the water from the undigested food, then it will push it out of the body in form of feces. The small intestine here digests protein, carbohydrates, fats, and absorb water, amino acids, sugar, and fatty acids. The stomach here, food is mixed up into a creamy liquid, then it can be pushed to the small intestine to complete the digestion. Next question. Now we finished all the question about the biology section. See you in the next video, inshallah. Thank you.